I'm back. I'm back. Most of you, I don't know who's going to care. I guess if you don't want me being back, you don't have to join me back. But I am back. Just got off my regular morning show. For anybody tuning in going, who the hell is this guy? Well, this guy is named Ken Tracy, and he does a morning talk show called Coffee with Ken. And I do it every day, and I alternate. One day I go live on Instagram, and the next day I go live on TikTok, and I have a lot of fun doing it, and I talk about life and experiences and whatever the heck hits my mind. And this morning I was kind of feeling a little sleepy and woke up, and I didn't have a whole heck of a lot to say. And I signed off about 10 minutes ago, maybe 15 minutes ago here on TikTok on my live video. And as I was getting ready to start my morning, I thought about something that kind of struck a nerve with me yesterday that I didn't talk on during my live show. So I thought I'd hop back on and do a encore edition. But I'm not going to call it Coffee with Ken, because Coffee with Ken is generally doesn't dive too deeply into politics, because I want you guys to vote for the candidate that you think is best and who will do the best job for our country. But we are moving into a political season. I'd also encourage everybody to try their best to see the other side when it comes to politics, and hopefully move towards a happy center. And I guess realistically, not everybody's going to do what I want, and there's going to be people on both sides of the aisle, on the far sides, that are, whatever. Vote for whoever and for whatever reason they want to vote. But yesterday, a news story came out, and I don't think enough was said about it. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about it right now. So I'm going to talk about it right now. But yesterday, a news story came out, and the details don't hold my feet to the fire about the finest details of this news story, but I have the general idea. And I've had this thought for 5 years. And people will reach out and go, why are you going to vote for this candidate because they do this, this, and this? And I'll tell you, because what I'm about to say, what happened 5 years ago makes me sick. Makes me sick. And yesterday, a news story came out how Mark Zuckerberg wrote a letter, and I don't know, it's to the Justice Department, let's say. And again, the details, the finest points of the details aren't exact, but they're not relevant. Saying he felt bad because he was pressured by the Biden-Harris administration in 2019 to keep quiet and to tap down any conversation that went against the basic political beliefs of the time about the COVID pandemic. And that they kept stories hidden, they censored viewers, they didn't allow even jokes about the topic. And I honestly don't care what you think about politics or who you're going to vote for or any of that stuff, or your thoughts on guns or abortion. That's not the point. The point is government censorship of a media source is wrong. And the government was leaning with all their might on Facebook to shut down opposing opinions to their thoughts. And that is wrong. And more should be said, and both sides of the party should say, hey, that is wrong. And honestly, I would love to see somebody from the left, because it is wrong. You can have your thoughts on gun rights and you can have your thoughts on abortion, but we should all agree that the government censoring our news sources, Facebook, is wrong. And without a doubt, the government leaned on. I don't even know who Hunter Biden is, and I don't care about his laptop, and I don't know anything about Russian whatever. But because the federal government leaned on Facebook, Facebook buried a true story. Because the powers that be wanted that story buried. And it impacted the election. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle. But what happened 5 years ago on Facebook was wrong. And I felt it at the time. And I was a huge Facebook fan. And I got on Facebook in 2006 or 7 or something like that, and thought it was the coolest thing in the world. But because my political thoughts didn't directly align with the people in power at that time, I and millions of people weren't allowed to have free speech or say things, because it was labeled as misinformation and labeled as false Russian hoax stuff. And let me tell you, both sides of the party should stand up and say that is wrong. Because free speech didn't happen 5 years ago. It wasn't free speech, because I couldn't question the governmental line and the stuff we were being fed by the people in power. And that's wrong. And I hope somehow, some way, that is remembered. And again, I'm shocked that it came out, because I knew it was happening at the time and I knew it was wrong, and I'm going, holy crap, I can't even post an article or say an opinion, or I got the fact checkers saying, hey, this is not right. We were being censored, and in a horrific way, and in a way that's not right for America, and turns out wasn't even true, to promote a political agenda. And I'll tell you what, that is a scary, scary, scary thought. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you vote for. But if you got the government controlling the media, and the government was controlling the media, and probably still is today, there's a problem. And again, they were pressuring Facebook, and screw you, Mark Zuckerberg. You should have had the huevos to stand up and say, hey, I believe in free speech. And so what happened 5 years ago was wrong. And it kind of ticked me off, and I can't believe it happened. And I'm disappointed that more's not being said about it, and that it happened at all. And I think there have been a lot of dark days for our country over the last 5 years. But I'll tell you what, that is a dark thing that goes on, and was wrong. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. They buried stories that were true because they didn't please the administration or the government. And that's a frightening thought. That's a frightening thought. So, just wanted to say that. I'll leave you with that. I appreciate you guys so much. Hope you subscribe to my page. Hope you follow my lives. Usually they're warm and fuzzy, drinking coffee in the morning. But again, I saw that story and I forgot to touch on that issue during my regular show. And just wanted to get out and say what the government did, burying true stories 5 years ago, was wrong. And I'd never vote for a party or for a candidate that did that. And you might not like the guy on the other side of the aisle. But what happened 5 years ago was wrong and shouldn't happen. And it did happen. And I think somebody owes us an apology for it. So anyway, wanted to hop on. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.